are now locked in and listening to The Issue.
This guy is a franchise quarterback, and no, I don't want to hear any pushback on that.
It feels like a top 10 roster to me. It feels like it can win a championship.
This is The Issue.
Yo, what's up? We are back. It is The Issue. Happy Thanksgiving if you are listening on Thursday, November 23rd. We got a special episode for you here today. A lot of football to talk, just like a lot of football will be on today. So, predictions are going to be a little, you better watch them early, right? We usually only got the one Thursday game, and then you can kind of relax, watch the rest on Friday, Saturday. If you catch the predictions on Friday, Saturday, it's fine because you still got some time to get into those games.
There's 3 on Thursday. There's a Black Friday game as well. Yeah.
So we're going to have to navigate our way through this strange week, but nevertheless, we are here for Week 12 of the NFL.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to stomach that Black Friday game. I don't know if I can watch the duo of Nat Hackett and Tim Boyle. I don't know if I can do it. I don't think I can do it to myself. You know how in Madden you can simulate when you're on one side of the ball?
Yeah.
I think I'm only going to watch when Miami has the ball.
I mean, that's fair.
And then I'm just going to find things to do around the house that whenever the Jets have the ball. Well, it's anemic. I can't watch it. I can't. Yeah, it's embarrassing.
It's going to at least be interesting to see how bad they are. That's why I'm going to watch. Anyway, we got a good episode for you. You're not going to have to worry about being bored here. We're going to start off with Tim's rant as we normally do. This time, Chargers and the Steelers are the two subjects of discussion. We'll get to both of them. Hits and misses will round out the first segment, and into the second, that's where the predictions live, as always. Week 12 predictions and Week 12 bets on a budget. And then to finish the show, in the third segment, we will have the news and, of course, the game of the week, which this week, the Ravens and the Chargers get the slot. That'll be a good one.
Another 3-2 bets on a budget. You know, we almost had that four. We were what? How many inches away on that Denver 2-point conversion?
About an inch and a half from 4-1.
From a 4-1 week. We've been looking for that 4-1 week, and we've been on the right side of so many games that should have been and should have helped us get to a 4-1 week.
Yeah. It's been upsetting. It's been
discouraging, to say the least.
Yeah. Either way, guys, thanks for joining us today. No matter how you are, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, Amazon Music, Amazon Prime Video, iHeartRadio, and of course the iHeartRadio app. There's so many of them. Sometimes you forget. You got to look down at the notes here.
Gotta love it. So we talked last week about how people just love to lie to themselves, especially when it kind of proves that they were quote unquote right? Like GMs like to do it a lot. They'll lie to themselves and stick with a quarterback longer than they should because they want to validate their pick. Steelers with Kenny Pickett, Packers with Jordan Love, Jets with Zach Wilson. Yeah, there's plenty of examples to go around. This week I'm going to be on a similar path. But today is about people just being flat out wrong. Like just not even thinking that they just know they're wrong and they're just going to double down on it. That's just we know we made a mistake. Screw it, we're going to double down anyway. Making one mistake is fine. It's when you double down that's when you get in trouble. Now, obviously, I like Jared Goff now. I think he found a really good situation. You know, he's really good in Detroit. That fits him. But that contract was a mistake by the Rams. That wasn't smart. That was a mistake of a contract. The Rams did not double down on it. They said, this isn't good enough. Let's pivot. Let's go get Stafford. For the price we're paying, it's just not good enough. We like Jared. He got us to a Super Bowl. That's fine. We can move him to get a really, really good quarterback in Matt Stafford. It's not good enough. Let's pivot. Let's not double down. I think they need to pivot again and rebuild as opposed to this little reboot they're on, but that's a talk for another time. The Eagles with Carson Wentz's contract, that was a huge mistake, and I was a Wentz supporter, kind of still am, but they didn't double down on it. They pivot, they rebuild quickly, actually, and boom, top 3 team in football went to the Super Bowl last year. So when the Chargers hired head coach Brandon Staley, I think there was some hope, right? You know, there's Herbert and there's a lot of talent. But if the coach is available, Brian Daboll and Harbaugh's name was getting thrown around in there. Ton of really, really good offensive names. Brian Daboll was easily the best. Easily. And we know that the Chargers were easily the best job. Again, Herbert going into his second year looks like a stud. Right? Looks like a stud making nothing yet. Like really good talent around him. You're one of the highest paid defenses. That is a Super Bowl blueprint. That is exactly what you want to get to a Super Bowl. Either you have to have a top 3 quarterback in the league, or you have to have a really, really good quarterback on a rookie deal. They had that. They hired Staley because he was the cheapest option financially. And I think on some level, Chargers fans, You kind of were like, yeah, this is exactly what happens. There's some players and there's got to be some executives that knew that they were destined for this type of disappointment. They knew it. I mean, you could see year one, the guy's over his skis. Yet they've doubled down on it. They refuse to make a move when it is clear, it is obvious that Brandon Staley is on a short list of guys in the NFL who not only don't deserve to be head coaches, but are just god-awful football coaches. Shouldn't even be coordinators. Just have no business coaching in the NFL above maybe an assistant position level. Like, they should be your 14th or 15th guy in your coaching roster. Not even close to your head coach, not even sniffing a coordinator job. He's not even close. He is god-awful, horrific at coaching football, period. Quit doubling down on mistakes. I mean, for the love of God, go get Justin Herbert a real NFL coach. I mean, it's embarrassing. I cringe watching Brandon Staley just exist in the NFL. I mean, that press conference was horrific. I couldn't watch it. I had to turn it off. It was brutal. He's a brutal NFL coach. Go get him a real coach. Maybe that's Kellen Moore. Who knows? But I would pay just about anything I could for like a Harbaugh level guy. Go get a stud. Go get a star head coach. This feels a lot like Denver with Nathaniel Hackett, but just with more talent on the team. Right? Like, you're going to have to rebuild the culture, but this team's a lot closer than we think. They just need their Sean Payton. Right? They need their Sean Payton to come in and save the day. Okay, let's pivot to Kenny Pickett and the Steelers. Of course, they fire Matt Canada on early Tuesday morning. Thank God. Thank God. But I do think he was a large part of the blame. I think that's pretty evident. When you don't have a 300-yard game for like 3 seasons in a row, I mean, or a 400-yard game, I'm sorry. You know that's not the standard in the NFL, right? It didn't take a genius to point that out. I do think there's a little something with Kenny. He's accurate. He's on time. He was productive in college. He was NFL ready, right? Those were kind of his pros coming out. But he never really seemed like a first-round pick. Like, let's be real. Let's wake up as Steelers fans. We can still like Kenny Pickett. If you still want to be in his corner, that's fine. But let's realize that, like, he wasn't a first-round pick. That's not a first-round talent. I wanted them to draft Tyler Linderbaum, but I still think they'd be better with Tyler Linderbaum, the center from Iowa. So that was mistake number 1. Didn't deserve to be drafted that high. But he did deserve a shot to start, right? You draft him, no matter where you draft him, he deserved a shot to start. He did. Fine. He looked fine last year. Definitely deserved another year. In fact, I'm not even saying we should move off of him this year. We know what Mitch is. We know what Mason Rudolph is. We shouldn't bench Kenny. But I am fascinated. Are the Steelers going to double down on this mistake? Again, I think it's fairly clear that Kenny Pickett's not the guy. Good kid. Would be a great backup. I actually think he'd be great on like a college game day type of show. I think he's going to be entertaining. I think he knows his stuff. But he's not a franchise quarterback. At best, bridge guy. At worst, he'll be a good analyst somewhere. College game day, Fox, something like that. He'll be a good analyst. He'll have a good career doing something. He'll be, in the grand scheme of things, hyper successful. But let's pivot off this thing. Like, let's not double down on the mistake. He's not the guy. He's not the guy. Again, we know Matt Canada was a big problem. So what you do for the next 7 weeks is you say, screw it, throw everything at the wall. Kenny, air it out, figure it out, go make plays down the stretch. There's no more, hey, it's 3rd and 4 in the fourth quarter and we're handing the ball off in the middle of the line. Let Kenny go figure it out. It's your time. Go make big-time throws. Go win big-time games. Rookie quarterback, 5th round, 3rd-string quarterback, Dorian Thompson-Robinson comes in. Hey, kid, go make big throws down the stretch. Enough coddling Kenny. Put him out there for 7 games. Hey, figure it out. You don't figure it out, we're moving on. That's it, period. End of story. I'm sorry. You don't get 4, 5, 6 years anymore. Oh, Eli Manning had a bad second. Peyton Manning's second year was... I don't care. It's not the 90s anymore. I'm done. I don't care. Figure it out. This is 2023 football. It shouldn't be this difficult. 7 games, figure it out. If not, we're moving on. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. So there's a couple things that you point to here. One, the rigidity of the Steelers fan base and kind of pushing back and reluctant to change. I think just because they're scared of not having that stable guy at quarterback at least.
If this is stable, I don't want it.
Well, yeah, but like you know what I mean. Like Pittsburgh is used to having the guy since Ben, but people forget how many quarterbacks and the carousel that they went through to find Ben. Quarterbacks just don't appear on your roster ready to start overnight. Sometimes it takes years, it takes seasons to try a guy out for 1 or 2 years. Doesn't work. Draft the next guy. Try him for 1 or 2 years. Doesn't work. Draft the next one. You can get stuck in this for a while, and hopefully your drafting isn't as bad as Cleveland, where you've gone through 25 quarterbacks before you have a quarterback with allegations against them that you guarantee a bunch of money to. Like, there's ways that you screw it up, and there's ways to avoid screwing it up that bad, but you have to do something. It's going to be intriguing to see how Kenny does with Matt Canada out of the building now. I think this is going to be his time to take the reins and kind of just go and try to show people that he is worth another year, if any.
I'll tell you what. So the guy that's going to be calling plays now is the running back coach. He's the new offensive coordinator going to call plays, right? They are going to tell you exactly what they know Kenny Pickett is. They have been in the room for however many years with Kenny Pickett. Now, with 2 years now, they know exactly what they have with Kenny Pickett. I don't care if they tell you. They will tell you during this game plan. If they come out and run the ball 35 times, they just told you. They might as well just put up a freaking sign and say, hey, Kenny Pickett's not the guy, right? Like, the running back coach knows what they have in Kenny Pickett. They know how to win. If they come out, run the football, Kenny Pickett throws 21 times, they tell you exactly what they think of Kenny Pickett.
I mean, yeah, the game plan will speak for itself.
I'm fascinated to see it. I hope they don't double down. I would have moved off him already, but I don't think he should be benched, though. I do think it's worth, with a new offensive coordinator, saying, hey, let it fly, see what he can do for these last 7 games. If he shows promise, get him a good OC this offseason and go from there. But I don't have faith. I think we'll be looking for a new quarterback.
Hopefully the team improves with this move because, watching the games have been a little bit
I do know when to fade him, I'll tell you what.
Recently. Yeah, whatever. All right, let's get into hits and misses. Go over where we were right and wrong this week.
Hit number 1, we knew as a show, and me specifically, I've been a big Russell Wilson supporter. I knew there's no way he could possibly be as bad as he was last year, right? When they hired Sean Payton, I said, yeah, it might take a little bit, but he's going to be at least somewhat better, right? He can't be that bad. Do I think he's, like, in his prime Seattle? No. But is he a top 12 quarterback right now in football? He leads the league in touchdown interception ratio. He's got 101 passer rating. Those are big boy numbers. Like, those are real numbers. And he is not, maybe he's not the reason they are winning, but he is a massive part of the reason.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you have a special quarterback like that, it's going to boost you for sure. But, like, at the end of the day, they're still underperforming. For, like, what they were supposed to be, everybody was saying, oh, the Broncos, they're going to be a dark horse playoff team. They're going to go in, they're going to run the table and make it, like,
That's been exactly what are you talking about? They've been exactly a dark horse playoff team. They started slow, and they are literally a half game out of the playoff spot.
No, but they're not. I just don't see this team doing anything. Like, ever since.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was winning 4 straight? Does that not show you anything?
2 years ago, they were supposed to be this great team, and so, like, we haven't seen it.
I'm just saying. Well, yeah, because it was an absolute abject freaking disaster. Because they promoted a middle school coach to head coach at Nathaniel Hackett last year.
A gym teacher.
So, yeah, you got to clean some shit up, Sean Payton did. Sean Payton came in and said, what in God's name is going on here?
Okay, so how does
so I gave him 4 weeks to figure it out, and they've won 5 of their last 6? Like, yeah, that's how it should look.
So how does the season finish for you?
I don't know. Look, even if they don't make the playoffs, if they are a solid 8-9 or 9-8 team, and the trajectory is going as it's been the last couple weeks, up, good run game, defense. The defense got hung 70 on them 5 weeks ago. They now lead the league in turnovers over the last 5 weeks. Like, this team is getting better. If they continue to get better, even if they don't make the playoffs, I would consider it a win.
All right.
So what can I see them finishing at? There's a very real possibility they get to 10 wins if you look at their schedule. I think that's more like a 9-win team because I think they'll blow one of the games.
Fair.
But I think it's a 9 or 10-win team.
We'll keep our eye on it.
All right. Miss number 1. We kind of bought into the Steelers' preseason offense. We were like, oh, Kenny Pickett's got a perfect passer rating. Like, they could be really good. The weapons look good. I know it's preseason, but even if they're 60% of what they were in preseason, they're still going to be a really good offense. Like, they scored on, like, every drive that Kenny was in.
And then what happened?
And then they sucked.
Yeah.
So it's a total young sportscaster mistake there. We got to learn from that. That is abysmal. And it is kind of being pushed in our face now that Matt Canada has been fired, that we actually fell for that.
There you go.
Yikes.
Grammar isn't on
That's
par
okay.
either.
That's all right.
I don't know. I don't have anything to say except
Thank God he's gone.
It's upsetting. I mean, I'm glad he's gone. And wasn't
I just can't believe we actually fell for
a perfect passer rating in preseason. That feels like many moons ago.
Many moons ago. Hit number 2 here. I've been a huge Kyler Murray supporter this year. Not you. You're taking Daniel Jones over Kyler Murray, but
I didn't say that.
Not me. I think you take Tommy
that.
DeVito.
I don't think I said that.
You take Sam Howell over.
I would take Sam Howell.
Okay, now you're just talking out of your ass.
And CJ Stroud.
Okay, well, CJ Stroud probably. He's too early to tell. But anyway, I know they lost. But if you don't think Kyler Murray is a good quarterback and is not a top 12 quarterback, you're just flat out not watching the games. You're not paying attention. What he can do off script with his legs, and he throws maybe one of the most beautiful deep balls, and you have to admit that. That deep ball just perfectly. Him and Jared Goff might throw the 2 best deep balls in football. They're just beautiful. They're beautiful.
You can't forget
pure
about Russ.
throwers.
Don't forget about Russ's.
Russ is up there. Russ is up there, but I still need to see more because you remember last year. I know again with Hackett, I'm not taking a ton of. You take that with a lot of grains of salt.
Yeah.
But he was really bad on the deep ball last year. He's been better this year, not quite as good as like a. It doesn't look as good as like a Kyler or Jared Goff. It's a beautiful ball he throws. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
And what he can do off script, Kyler Murray. Maybe even if Arizona moves off him, I will not hear any argument that Kyler Murray is not a franchise quarterback. He's a franchise quarterback.
He is, and I never argued that he's not top 12, or I would say the top half of the league. But there's just things that concern me with him, and there are other quarterbacks that I think would be better in the long run.
Yeah, I agree. There's things that concern me, but like, I have concern about everybody. Like literally everybody, even Mahomes. Now, granted, most of his concerns aren't his problem. It's mostly who he's throwing the damn ball to. But I got concerns about every quarterback in football.
Yeah.
Or at least their ability to be productive, whether that's due to them or something around them. I have questions about every quarterback.
It's just the size and the injury thing. I can't get past.
It's definitely a problem. Miss number 2 here. Early on, I didn't see the accuracy. I didn't see the consistency with Jalen Hurts. But he is just grit, leadership, toughness.
Dude's a dog.
I'll say what he can stand in and make throws. Is it always pretty? No, but it is always. Is he a winning player? Absolutely. And that's. I know it's the NFL, but a little bit of a segue to the NBA. Like you see a ton of players that are really flashy, can dunk contest guys, right?
Yeah.
Are they winning basketball players? I don't know if Jalen Hurts is the most talented quarterback. I don't know if he's the most flashy. I don't know if he's the best. He is such a good winning player.
Yeah.
Period.
The ends justify the means. So, like, the outcome at the very end of the day, it doesn't matter how you got there. It doesn't matter how it looked. He wins. He's clutch. He's tough as shit.
Yeah, great leader. Just a great
leader.
leader.
Awesome. I like Jalen Hurts a lot.
Yeah, and the TikTok of me comparing him to Gardner Minshew has not aged well, although I do think Gardner is still slept on, but whatever. Hit number 3 here. I said this when Aaron signed. I said, doesn't it kind of seem like not that good of an opportunity in New York? Like I almost feel like he'd have been just better staying in Green Bay. Like, yes, the turbulence. I was like, okay, let's just get the turbulence out of the way. If that means moving on, then that's fine. But they were just doing this like runaround thing. But from a purely football standpoint, Green Bay is a much better position to be in.
Oh, yeah.
Offensive coach, better weapons, better offensive line. And now the New York Jets, you are stuck with Nathaniel Hackett and Tim Boyle. That's your battery going into a primetime game. Good luck. I don't know what else to tell you. I feel bad for Jets fans. I don't feel bad for Aaron, but I do think he wakes up this morning and goes, shit. Like, I don't think I calculated this very well.
Yeah.
Like, I think I had some oversights here.
Right, and in that Black Friday game, I think the Miami Dolphins are going to be able to catch some deals on some interceptions there, yeah?
Right. Oh, man. We're going to skate past that. So, but in reality, if you're a Jets fan, right, you wake up Friday morning and you say, the only reason Nat Hackett is our OC is because of Aaron Rodgers. The only reason Tim Boyle's on this roster is because of Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. The only reason our 2 worst wide receivers, Allen Lazard and Randall Cobb, are on this roster are because of Aaron Rodgers. The only reason we don't have a better quarterback and a better backup plan to Aaron Rodgers is because of Aaron Rodgers. Like,
he's become like a virus.
Like, I'm not saying, like, and it's not, it is Aaron's fault. It's not Aaron's fault directly, but it's a product of what you had to do to bring in Aaron.
Yeah. Yeah, things are falling apart in New York.
Yeah.
Just like normal.
Well, of course. Miss number 3 here. It may be too early to tell, but that Will Levis debut may have been a fluke game. He has the talent to be a franchise quarterback. That's no doubt. He's 6'4", 6'5", big, can move, good arm. He's got it's a little like arrogance to him, but sometimes it comes off as like confidence and bravado, and I think sometimes that works as a quarterback. Like Joe Burrow kind of has that cool confidence about him.
Yeah.
So there's some things I like with Will Levis. There's times, though, where I don't think he sees the field particularly well. Like, and to me, that gives me very, like, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson vibes. Because both those guys are talented. I think Will Levis has a better arm and is a little bit better from the pocket than both of them. But you have to be able to see the field first.
Yeah, I think a lot of that will come with time, too. I mean,
yeah, we'll see. Like I said,
games?
like at 4.
Yeah.
I think it may be too early to tell, but there's some things that I don't like that I'm seeing, even if he is a very young quarterback.
That's fair. I mean, he was a starter for a long time.
He was 2.5 years. He started like half a year at Penn State and then 2 years at Kentucky
in the SEC. So
yeah,
he
in
saw
the
some
SEC.
pretty damn good defenses.
Yeah.
So you got to start picking it up quick, right? Like we talked about it to start the show. Like you can't just take years and years to figure it out.
It's not the 90s anymore. You don't have that much time. You have the Thanksgiving your second year period, and then somebody's making a decision on you.
Yeah, and I think another thing that has to be looked at if we're going to talk about the Will Levis situation is where he's at. I don't think Tennessee is exactly one of the best
they don't have
places
the offensive.
to be.
They don't. I think the coaching staff and the support is
Yes,
good, but I don't
that's
think the weapons are very good.
No,
I think they need a better offensive line. And D-Hop's fine at this stage in his career. He's more of a 2. I think they need a better 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Derrick Henry is just aging, so.
Yeah, no, I would agree.
Somebody put the ball in their hands and kind of take the stress off Levis would be nice, too.
Yeah, that would be nice. I would agree, but that is it for hits and misses.
There we go. When we come back, we will have our Week 12 predictions and Week 12 bets on a budget. Don't go anywhere.
All right, welcome back. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. It's now, the 23rd of November. This is getting a little bit ridiculous. Just throwing that out there. Moving a little too fast for my taste, but whatever. It's fine. But either way, guys, thank you for joining us on this beautiful day. So hopefully you listen to this segment and this episode before you start watching these games. That way we're honest here. It's posted before the games.
Yeah.
We make these predictions before the games, well before the games actually. So make sure that you listen. However you are listening or watching, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio. I'm probably missing a couple, but you know the drill. All the links and everything is in every, I don't even know, description, bio, you name it,
website.
It's there. If you can't find our information, you're just not looking.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
But guys, it is Thanksgiving, so if you're waiting for the games to come on, you're like, I got to listen to the issue real quick. You could get those bets. You could go over to Sobet, check everything out. You can just toss us on the TV. Everybody's got a smart TV these days. I know.
Cast us. Goes to the in-laws.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Toss us on the TV. Let us talk a little football to you before you eat turkey and watch football.
Especially for the bets on a budget. Like, win your family some money. They'll love you.
Yeah, and I mean, the price of food is just outrageous. So if you're cooking for Thanksgiving, you might
Chip
as well
away at that cost.
Head over to Sobet,
Yeah.
Get some good betting information, and then win that money back. You pretty much break even on Thanksgiving. How about that?
Love it.
Pretty good. Make some money for Black Friday. You got a big shopping day tomorrow. You got to spend something. All right, guys. It's time for predictions. Week 12 of the NFL.
Well, I don't know if we mentioned who won last week.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
right.
Did we forget that?
You won.
Thank you.
Once again,
Feels good.
It's been.
What are we? 5 and? Am I what?
Really
6 and 4 now?
No.
5 and 4?
No, you're 6 and 5.
6 and 5. My bad.
6
and 5.
And you're
up 5 games.
Up 5 games
Yeah.
individually, which sucks. So I really need.
I'm going for a 5-0 sweep this week. I can feel it.
Look, I gotta say, I need to be able to turn this around soon. All right, that's enough. We need to be able to turn this around soon, or else this is gonna get out of hand quick. We got 7 more weeks of predictions left. Let's get to this one. So, week 12 of the NFL. Every pick for every game. Let's go.
Okay, Packers at the Lions. I do think the Packers, I think Jordan Love is getting better. I see growth, outside of, unlike other young quarterbacks like a Kenny Pickett, where I don't see any growth, I actually see regression.
Yeah.
I do see growth with Jordan Love. But that doesn't mean he's on the level to go into Detroit and beat the Lions. I'm going to take the Lions in a close divisional matchup to win on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I like the Lions here. There's not really much that needs to go into it. I haven't been very impressed with Green Bay all season. So
No, yeah, Jordan Love makes a couple throws. It's just the consistency is the problem. Jared Goff is the epitome of consistency. I will take that all day.
Better quarterback.
Commanders traveling to Dallas to play the Cowboys. I love the Cowboys in this spot. As a home favorite, they are unbelievable. Dak is a home favorite, has 128 pass rating this year.
Yeah.
So he is unbelievable at home. So is the entire offense. The defense is going to get after it. And no quarterback in the league has been sacked more than Sam Howell. Love Dallas. preview for bets on a budget, Dallas is the side here. I think they beat the Commanders. I think they thump the Commanders.
Yeah, I do like Sam Howell, and I like what Washington's been able to put together, but I don't think that they're on the level right now where they can go take one from Dak and the Cowboys, especially at this spot. I mean, we know the Cowboys at this point in the season, they start rolling, they get things together. Dallas is going to win big. Yeah.
Niners at the Seahawks first split. I'm going to go with Seattle, actually. Pete Carroll is 8-2 against Kyle Shanahan, coming off a really, really bad loss. Like they had that game versus the Rams. They should not have lost that game. They should not have blew that game. They did. Geno Smith hopefully gets healthy and comes back. I like Seattle to run the football because San Francisco can be had. If you can run at those pass rushers, you can kind of get at them a little bit. They're now missing their safety, Talanoa Hufanga, for the season, tore his ACL. So I think there is a little bit of weakness in San Francisco. Now, granted, I do worry about Seattle being able to stop San Francisco, but I think Seattle can have some success offensively. I will take them to win on a late field goal. Don't feel great about it, but I am going to pick the upset.
See, that's what it comes down to for me. I just don't think Seattle's going to be able to stop the 49ers whatsoever. And if it gets to a shootout, I like San Francisco during that, in that circumstance.
Yeah.
I just think that offense is so high-powered. And, yeah, they might be a little bit weaker on defense now, but at the end, they still have
a lot of talent.
1, 2, and or 3 defense in the league.
They're up there. They're up there. All right, the Black Friday game, the Dolphins at the Jets. I'm going to go and take the Dolphins, not even close.
Yeah, we were talking about this one, and I don't even know why we did talk about this one before we picked it.
Stupid questions.
Yeah.
It's just too easy.
Dolphins.
Yeah. Saints at the Falcons. I just won't die on a sinking Falcon ship. I'm going to go ahead and take the Saints. I think it's an intriguing matchup. I think there's an argument to take the Falcons, especially being at home. I just can't die on that ship.
Nope, I can never bet Atlanta. Nope. I've been burned by them so many times in my life, and then getting to this year, for some reason, I thought it would be a good idea to, hey, let's see if they got something. I took them. They burned me again. And plus, I just really don't like Desmond Ridder. It's just not it.
Yeah. The Patriots at the Giants. We're both going to go and take the Patriots. I think the experienced Bill Belichick against a young Tommy DeVito, I think, is a mismatch altogether. The over-under is 33.5. I would go ahead and smack the under. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points. This feels like a very Belichick 13-6 type of win.
It's a horrible game.
Yeah, I don't bet games I don't want to watch, and this is a game I don't want to watch, so I will be staying away from this game.
Yeah, the only reason I took the Patriots here is just because of Bill. That's it.
Yeah,
there's no other redeeming
I don't think
quality.
he's a very good coach anymore in terms of overall head coach success, but I think defensively he's still going to be able to really stymie a young quarterback.
Especially Danny DeVito. Huh?
Yeah, Danny DeVito, yeah. Panthers at the Titans. I called the Panthers' first win of the season, and I'm going to go ahead and call it again. I think they get their second win of the year. I'm going to go ahead and take the upset at Tennessee. Tennessee's favored by 3.5. I will go ahead and take the Panthers to win outright and move to 2-9. I don't trust Will Levis, and actually right now, I think I'm getting the better quarterback. Not by a lot, but I think I am getting the slightly better quarterback, at least the more consistent quarterback. I'm going to go ahead and take Carolina. Again, playing the upset here. I'm up a couple games in predictions. Got to take those type of risks.
Yeah.
Again, I called the first one. It's the only time I've picked the Panthers, and I'm going to stick with it and pick them sparingly, and I feel good about it.
I just can't. Everybody knows how I feel about Bryce Young. I'm not a fan. I think Will Levis, yes, he has showed that he is very much human and not what we thought he was going to be after that first start, but I think he has more special and more potential to pop and have those big plays more than a Bryce Young.
That's fair. Jacksonville traveling to Houston. You're going to roll with the home team, Houston Texans.
They're
I'm going to go ahead.
Asses off, man.
They are. They're playing good football. I'm going to take Jacksonville. I think they had their revenge factor, obviously losing to Houston earlier in the year. And Jacksonville wins these type of games. Yes, against the top of the top, right? The Chiefs, the Niners, the Eagles, they do lose. But against everybody in that B to B plus territory, they are I think they're 5-0 against those type of teams, like teams you would view anywhere between 6 and 14 in the league. And I think Houston fits into that. I think Jacksonville beats them by a touchdown.
Houston is rolling. They are playing fantastic football. I love C.J. Stroud. And to be quite honest, I wasn't impressed with the Jacksonville Jaguars when they came to Pittsburgh. We were at that game. There was just nothing there. It felt very bland, very vanilla, and
that's a much better defense than Houston, to be fair. But I agree. I agree.
Yes.
I'm just throwing that out there.
I'm not sure what I'm getting with Jacksonville, and I do know that Houston's rolling. They finally have a spark, and I'm going to ride with that.
Fair enough. Steelers at the Bengals. Bengals obviously missing Joe Burrow, starting Jake Browning from Washington at quarterback. I'm going to take the Steelers. I think with the new infusion of a new offensive coordinator, that bad energy out of the building, let Kenny Pickett rip a little bit. I do think Pittsburgh wins on the road here. Again, over under 34.5. This could be a very low-scoring game.
Yeah.
That might be the play there. I'm going to stay away from that game in terms of spreads and line, but I will take Pittsburgh to win.
Yeah, I like the Steelers here. And that's just to show you how much value Joe Burrow holds.
If Joe Burrow's playing,
I wouldn't have even thought twice.
I would take Cincinnati by 2 touchdowns.
Yes.
I know Joe on the betting market isn't worth a full 14 points.
Yeah.
But in my head, I would take Cincinnati by at least double digits if he's playing.
Fair. I mean,
but he's not, and so I'll take Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'll take Pittsburgh.
Buccaneers at the Colts. I'm gonna go take the Colts. I think it's a better team, point blank, and I think Shane Steichen is a really, really good head coach. And I just don't trust the Buccaneers quarterback play right now. I think Baker's fine, but I'm never ever gonna sit there and say I ride with Baker Mayfield. I just can't do it. I'm gonna take the Colts at home to beat the Bucs.
Fine, I'll say it. I ride with Baker Mayfield.
Of course you do.
He hasn't been looking the greatest, but we know he's chippy. We know he's got a little something, a little competitive edge there and some fire. Look, I just don't know what I'm getting with the Colts. I don't like the Colts all that much.
Was Indy on a bye last week? I think Indy was on a bye last week.
I'm just going to take the Bucs and hope for the best. It's good that we have 5 splits this week because that gives me the ability to tie if I go 5-0. So I'm just really, really praying for the best here.
Indy wasn't a bye, so I'm going to go ahead and take the team off the bye. I think that to me that feels better, yeah. And they're at home. Tampa's got to travel to Indianapolis, although it's not across country. It is certainly noteworthy. And again, coming off a bye, I will take the Colts. Okay, moving on. Rams at the Cardinals. We're both going to go ahead and take the Cardinals. Kyler freaking Murray.
Best quarterback in the league.
I know you were joking when you said that, but I'm telling you, to me is a top 10 quarterback. I think he's fantastic. And let's be real, the Rams are rebuilding. Yes, they are scrappy. They're a better than average rebuilding team, but that's a rebuilding roster. I think Kyler Murray torches that defense. I will take Kyler Murray and the Cardinals.
Yeah, give me Kyler. McVay does worry me a little bit. You know how special he is and how he can scheme things for sure.
That's true. Yeah.
But these divisional opponents always play each other pretty close, pretty tight, and you can't deny what Kyler does and how special it is.
Yeah.
So I'll go with Arizona.
Browns at the Denver Broncos. I'm gonna pick Denver to stay hot here. I think they moved to 6-5, and I think they firmly put themselves in playoff, like in the playoff race. I mean, they're in it, but I think they put themselves right there. I mean, a win against Cleveland would give them a huge boost in terms of ability to get in the playoffs. And I do think there's a ceiling on what Dorian Thompson-Robinson can do. I mean, yes, did he play well down the stretch against Pittsburgh? Yeah. He had like 160 yards, though. Like, let's not act like he had this unbelievable game. I think Denver, who leads the league in takeaways over the last 5 weeks, is going to force a couple turnovers. I think a fumble and 2 picks. They win the turnover battle, and they win late by 4.
Yeah, I'm taking Denver as well, and I just have to say, the reason why is because Cleveland, I had so much higher expectation of them, especially when they got up on the Steelers, right? Like, I was, okay, like, they're going to put them away here. And then they let the Kenny Pickett and Matt Canada-led Steelers climb back in and make it super close. Lost a lot of respect for the Browns, and already didn't have that much. So, I'm going to take Denver. I like the better quarterback in Russ, so that's the side we're going to ride with.
Chiefs at Ravens. I think the Chiefs coming off a tough loss. I think they bounce back. Now, the line is an interesting number, and we'll get to that in bets and a budget, but I do think the Chiefs win.
Yeah, Chiefs over the Raiders for sure. That one's not tough.
Yeah, Bills at the Eagles. I'm going to take the Eagles. I don't know what offense am I getting for Buffalo.
You're either getting like a 400-yard passing game from Josh Allen, and he's going to run the ball like 16 times for 200 yards, and he's going to account for like all of their yards of offense, or he's just going to throw 3 to 4 interceptions. I think the pressure that Philly front is just going to be too much. The offensive line in Buffalo is not good. I think Philly's going to get a ton of pressure on Josh. Yeah.
Ravens at the Chargers. One of our splits here. You're going to go and take the Ravens. I am taking the Chargers backed into a corner. Now, I don't like Brandon Staley. I think he should be fired.
Take Staley?
I think he should be fired. I don't think he's very good.
Wow.
But at the end of the day, he is coaching for his career right now. This is it. If he loses this game at home, I know it's the Ravens. I know they're a good team. He is gone. Point blank, end of story.
Yeah.
So he has to win this game. This is it. He is coaching for his life right now, and I think desperation can do a lot of crazy things in this league. I will take the Chargers to win in a desperation game over the Ravens.
That's the Ravens. I like Lamar.
I don't think you're crazy. I think they're a better team. I don't think you're
defense.
crazy.
I like the Ravens almost in every facet of football more. The only one I could see the argument and make the argument for is Justin Herbert at the quarterback position. But I mean, overall, other than that, I'm taking the Ravens.
I think it's fair. We forgot this one in prep. Monday night game: Bears at the Minnesota Vikings. I'll take the Vikings.
I'm taking the Vikings as well.
I think they're a much better team. The pastronaut, Josh Dobbs.
Yeah.
Love them. Okay, so for our splits, I'm going to go ahead and take Seattle. You're taking San Fran. I will take Carolina. You're taking Tennessee. I will take Jacksonville. You're going to take the home Houston Texans. I will take Indianapolis at home off a bye. You're going to take Baker and the Bucs. Good luck. I will take the home LA Chargers backed into a corner, and you will take the Ravens on the road going cross country.
Should be pretty solid, man.
All right, let's transition here into bets on a budget. I mentioned during a couple of those, like, hey, the line is more noteworthy than the game itself. So that's where we talk about lines here in bets on a budget. We will guess 5 spreads, educated guess, give you, and confidently stand by 5 bets for Week 12. Here we go.
Of course, presented by Sobet. You can't forget that.
Oh, yes. Go ahead.
Presented by Sobet. Go check it out. The Sobet app, use code THEISSUE when you sign up. Get all the information that you need for betting. It's a great platform over there. A lot of educated experts that are giving a lot of really good picks. I always see it. Even if you follow on my Instagram, it's Sobet_app. If you go check that out, they post a ton of hits and there's a lot of money to be made over there. So go sign up.
Kind of blank. There's a guy who does player props for the NFL. I'll tell you what, he's hitting it like a 75% rate. So even if you don't like our bets, dude, I'll tell you what, that guy is insane. I forget his name. I'll have to find it and shout him out on the next episode. But anyway, here, bets on a budget. Let's go with bet number 1 here. Dallas -11 versus Washington. Dallas as a home favorite. I said it before. I'll say it again. They are fantastic. Dak has almost 130 passer rating as a home favorite, and Washington gives up more sacks than anybody. Micah Parsons is going to eat. Sam Howell under pressure against the blitz has more interceptions than anybody, probably because he faces more pressure than anybody, so I guess it makes sense. So to me, Dallas is the side here at -11. I will take them to win 31-17.
100%. They have been coming in clutch for us when we pick them for a big game like this and to win by a bunch. Haven't disappointed yet. I don't see them disappointing this week. I think Washington is a fine team. But I think when you have the high-flying power that you do with Dallas, it's just going to get out of hand quick, and it's going to get ugly.
They steamroll bad teams. That's what they do. Same thing here with Miami. Miami -10 versus the Jets. Now, we did take we took the Raiders as a big dog against Miami last week, but let's be real here. The Jets are anemic. They are so bad on offense. Out of their last 41 offensive possessions, they have scored 1 touchdown. That was the touchdown drive where they needed a fake punt and another 4th down conversion. They needed 2 4th down conversions just to get down there to give themselves a chance to score. It's not sustainable. Miami is a much better team. I will take Miami to win 35-6.
35-6? You're giving them 2 field goals?
I can give them 2 field
or
goals.
Or a touchdown and a missed extra point.
No. That's going to be 2 field goals. I think they can get 2 field goals. I think that's realistic.
Okay.
I don't know how I feel about Tim Boyle starting, though.
I don't even think they're going to be able to complete a pass. This Jets offense is so bad.
It's bad.
I think people forget how slow and lackluster it can be. Just watch the game on Friday. It's going to be horrible.
Look at the speed of Miami and then look at the Jets and think who is better prepared to win in 2023 NFL football.
Miami, by a landslide.
Bet number 3 here, Indianapolis -2.5 versus Tampa Bay. I know you took Tampa, but from a pure value standpoint, you're getting a team off a bye. You're getting a more clever offensive coach.
And against Baker.
I don't know about a better quarterback, but you're getting a more consistent quarterback. Mm-hmm. You're at home, and you're getting the hook on your side. So from a betting standpoint, from a value standpoint, everything's pointed to Indianapolis, which honestly gives me a little bit of pause because I feel like when it's too obvious, that's when I get burned. So maybe that's why you're going Tampa. But I'm going to go ahead and ride with Indianapolis -2.5. I think they win by 4. I'll go 21-17 Indy.
I respect it, man. I mean, it's one of the better lines of the week. I was in between who I picked for that game. I just didn't like either side, but I think the bye does have a big factor.
It definitely matters, and they were over in what was that? Germany or France or something playing Belichick and them. Then they come back. They had the bye. So anyway, the Las Vegas Raiders +9 versus Kansas City. Kansas City has not scored in the second half in 3 weeks. They are averaging under 6 points in the second half in games this season. That's less than a touchdown.
Shout out MVS.
Most games, they don't even score a touchdown in the second half. Let that sink in.
Which is that.
It's not a good team. And so what that means, right? Are they going to beat the Raiders? Probably. But are they going to put them away? No, because they don't have the ability to in the second half. For whatever reason, whether it's adjustments, whether they're not adjusting well enough, or whether they're showing too much and allowing teams to adjust better, I don't know what it is, but I think the Raiders keep it close. I'll take Kansas City to win by 4. I'll go 28-24 Kansas City.
There's just no weapons in Kansas City. I said it to you after that game on Monday when Marquez Valdes-Scantling had that horrendous drop.
That one hurt. That one hurt big time.
Look, there's just it doesn't matter who you have at quarterback. I don't care if you have Patrick Mahomes. You can't be throwing to lawn furniture, and that's what they have at receivers when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs. It's just bad.
I would agree. It is absolute deck chairs. Okay, last one here. The Los Angeles Chargers +4 versus Baltimore. I know you like Baltimore, but from a value standpoint, you're obviously getting the hook on your side. Because it is above the 3. So I'll take the Chargers. I think they win outright, but even if you think Baltimore wins, I do think it's going to be a close game because all Chargers games are close. Here's what's going to happen. Worst case scenario for me as a money line better for the Chargers. Worst case scenario, the Chargers jump out to a lead, blow it in classic Chargers form, but it stays close towards the end because they built such a lead that Baltimore's not going to come back and blow them out.
Yeah.
So it's going to stay close. I'll take the Chargers to win outright 28-27, but I do think even if Baltimore does win, it stays close.
Okay. Fair enough.
That's our bets. Let's run back through them. Dallas -11 versus Washington. Miami -10 versus the Jets. Indianapolis -2.5 versus Tampa Bay. Those are the 3 favorites we're taking. Then we'll take 2 dogs to finish it out. The Raiders +9.5 versus Kansas City, and the Chargers +4 versus Baltimore.
Should be a good week. We need a 4-1 week. We need a 5-0 week. Something of the sorts. We've had too many 3-2s in a row. We're at 55% right now.
Yeah.
So hoping to climb over that sharp line this week. Guys, that's all we have for this segment. When we come back, we will have the news and the game of the week, Ravens at Chargers. Don't go anywhere. Here we go. Third segment of the issue on Thanksgiving. We have a good segment here. We got the news to start out, and we have the game of the week to finish the show. Of course, the Ravens at the Chargers. Should be a pretty good one. Guys, thanks for joining us today, though. Go check out theissuesports.com. I know it's a holiday. You can keep up with us throughout the holiday season on our Instagram, on our Twitter, TikTok, and Sobet. You can find all those links just right in the description of this episode or on theissuesports.com. Everything is linked. We mentioned it in the last segment. If you can't find it, I can't help you. It's 2023. Learn how to use the internet. That's my only suggestion to you if you can't find all of the different platforms that we're on. We are on pretty much everything. Very accessible. That's how we like to be here.
Couldn't agree more, yeah.
What are you eating today first, by the way? What do you go for?
Dude, I love a good mashed potato. Like, I'll tell you what. And here's the thing, though, right? Mashed potatoes are my favorite. If I had to pick one singular dish, mashed potatoes are my go-to. I will mound up a mashed potato mound on my plate.
Big old hole with a ton of gravy.
But I'll tell you what's undefeated. You get a little mashed potato, and then you get some turkey on there, too. Like a 2-in-1. Oh.
You ever put corn on that, too?
Of course.
You dip it in the corn?
Sometimes I'll throw the corn in the mashed potatoes. I'll mix that up a little bit.
I won't eat the corn if it's just by itself. It has to be combined with something.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Okay, what about a little stuffing on there, too?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could do it all. That's what I like. The day after Thanksgiving, we have a lot of leftovers.
A big bowl of it.
I do a Thanksgiving bowl. Yeah.
Oh, you just mix it all up together.
Kind
of like a rice bowl, but just with...
Then a gravy over the top. You just mix it up and you just go in, dude.
Oh, it's like a Pilgrim Chipotle.
It is a Pilgrim Chipotle.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, I never even thought of that.
Thanks,
dude, screw waiting until the next day for that. I might do that. That sounds like a primetime meal to me. That's going to be primetime Thanksgiving.
It's pretty solid, I got to say.
Oh, that sounds so good.
You got to thank Squanto on that one, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure he did that, but I'll trust you. Yeah, sure.
All right, either way, we got the news to get to. 3 stories. Let's go.
Story number 1 here, of course, Matt Canada fired was the offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's what I'm thankful for this Thanksgiving.
That is 100% what I'm thankful for this Thanksgiving. He was utterly abysmal. Not only that, he was not a very enjoyable person. Like, let's be real here. Like, very snippy with the media. Now, to be fair, the media questioned him every single day about how bad he was.
You know, but as they should.
As they should. That's their job, right? That is the job of the media, is to ask those tough questions. And, of course, he couldn't hold up. And he never once had a 400-yard game under his belt. That is sad. That is embarrassing. He is horrific. I doubt he gets another job in the NFL. Probably will have to drop down to college or high school. I mean, it was that bad of a performance from Matt Canada. I don't know what else to say other than I'm happy that that he's fired. They're going to turn to the running backs coach as the offensive coordinator, but they're going to turn to the quarterbacks coach. His name's actually Mike Sullivan. No, he's not the Penguins coach. The quarterbacks coach, Mike Sullivan, will call the plays, but Eddie Faulkner, the running backs coach, will be the OC. So kind of a collaboration effort there from the sounds of it for offense. So I don't know. It can't be any worse.
So do they go hire somebody in the offseason then, you're assuming?
I would assume.
I would assume. Run out the season with what you got here, and then
I would assume.
Go look into the market.
Yeah, and so somebody that I know messaged me and said, what about like a Ken Dorsey? And I think it's an interesting idea because Ken Dorsey's problem was that he couldn't control Josh Allen's recklessness. Well, Kenny Pickett's problem is not recklessness. It's quite the opposite. We could use some more reckless in this offense.
Yeah.
We don't throw over the middle of the field.
No.
Like, we could use some Ken Dorsey, screw it. You know, we could use a little bit of, hey, let's go for it.
Right. And I mean, okay, I just have a question here because I've seen clips from Kenny Pickett last year, and I want to get your take on this now that we're talking about the Steelers. What happened? Because he was making throws over the middle of the field. He was driving the ball with urgency. Like, he was doing a lot of the things that you need to do as a quarterback in the NFL. And then this year, it's like he's totally gone away from it. There's no throws over the middle. And there's no changes in the weapons room. Like, you still have Pat Freiermuth, like, outside of the injury that he had. But, like, your weapons have improved, if anything.
Yes,
and you're not throwing over the middle. You're not taking shots. Why?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I don't think we have a premier over-the-middle target without Pat Freiermuth, and he's been out for, like 7 weeks this year. So I get not going over the middle as much, but there have been some clips where Deontay Johnson and George Pickens are streaking down the middle of the field, butt booty naked. Like, just touchdown in their hands, as long as you put it within 15 yards of them.
And Allen Robinson, like
where
you been, dude?
There are plays to be had in the middle of the field. I wish I had the answer for you. I mean, to me, it shows that he's not seeing the field correctly. And so if that's on him, well, then that's a cognitive issue. He needs to figure his shit out.
Yeah.
But if that's a coaching thing, well, then we're going to find out if it was a coaching thing.
Fair.
We're going to find out if this coaching staff can kind of simplify things and help him see the field like he should be seeing the field.
Yeah.
We'll see. Story number 2 here, Jim Harbaugh, of course, suspended from the sidelines for the remainder of the regular season. There's even speculation that he could be suspended all of next season by the NCAA because the Big Ten suspended him for this season. The NCAA is going to wait till after the season. Good news is if they get to the college football playoff, he can coach in that. It's just for the regular season is the ban, but, barring any more rulings by authorities. I think it's a little crazy. Like, do I think it was right what they did? No. Like, I think it crossed the line a little bit, but I don't understand what the problem is about going to somebody else's game to scout. Like, maybe I'm crazy, but we used to do that in, like, youth football.
Yeah.
Like, we used to have film in youth football. Mm-hmm. Like, we were 10 years old scouting. Like, I don't understand. I don't know. Like, it doesn't seem like a problem.
And plus, like, my argument has always been, what are you getting from being there that you're not getting from, like, you can find film on every team.
I could look up.
You know what I mean?
I could find YouTube videos of the team playing, and we could find signals from that.
Like,
I agree.
There's, like, nothing.
In 2023, I don't think being there matters.
No, I don't see the
with
advantage.
All the technology.
Yeah, I don't see the advantage of, like, being in person watching it. You can find anything you would want.
I don't know. Maybe I'm naive. I don't really get it. I don't get it. And here's what also pisses me off is the reason that we're in this spot is because there's no sound in the headset or in the players' helmets in college.
Yeah.
The reason that there's no sound and no communication in the helmet for the players in college is because coaches vote not to have stuff in the helmets for the players in college. The reason that they vote not to have sound in the helmets for players in college is so that they can keep stealing signs.
Yeah.
That's it. Michigan's they just got caught. That's the only difference. Yeah. Everybody does it. Everybody does it.
Yeah.
Matt Rule said it best. The Nebraska coach, he's like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with me looking at their sidelines stealing signs. There's nothing wrong with them looking at our sidelines stealing signs. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
It's just, it makes zero sense, especially, like, when it boils down to the fact there are so many options. Like, there are so many other things that you could do to call that play.
So, that also would just be better. So, like, it just seems like a lot of whining.
And you're going to tell me that Ohio State doesn't have a graduate assistant that nobody knows works for Ohio State
Probably.
that's going and sitting on the other sideline?
They probably do. They probably do. The only, like, concern, does Harbaugh eventually just say, this isn't worth it? and leave college football?
He did pretty well in the NFL.
He did very well in the NFL. He would get any job he wants in the NFL for basically whatever price he wants.
He went to a Super Bowl.
With Colin Kaepernick, who clearly we know now sucks.
Yeah.
So, like, and here's another thing. I was kind of surprised the Big Ten did this, because why would you punish the team that could get your conference a championship?
It doesn't make any sense.
Does the Big Ten know that they get a payout if they make the college football playoff, and then if they win a game, and if they win the Natty, and then that's distributed out to all the other schools? Like, doesn't seem like... It kind of seems like you're shooting yourself in the foot a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't know. Stupid. Story number 3 here. Bo Nix, another college football story, is now an overwhelming favorite to win the Heisman. He had 6 touchdowns in the first half.
I saw that.
Against Arizona State. Now, Arizona State's not a very good football team, but they're scrappy, and 6 touchdowns in any half and any level of football is impressive. The reason I bring this up, though, is if the Steelers do choose to move off Kenny Pickett, say we go 9-8, I think that's a very realistic goal, maybe 10-7. They're drafting anywhere between, call it 14 and 18. Does that probably gives them a decent shot at getting Bo Nix either where they sit or maybe moving up a couple slots to draft Bo Nix? Would you be interested in doing so?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I am very much in the camp of, if you don't have the guy, move on. Don't stick on him. Don't let
double down. We talked about that earlier.
Don't let the sentiment of the situation and that he played for Pitt and he's been in the building for this many years. Like, we all understand that. But if he can't play football at this level, then he can't play football at this level. And you have to call it how it is, say what it is, and then adjust accordingly. I think if Bo Nix is available,
say we draft at 14, Bo Nix is available.
I don't see why you wouldn't do it.
Okay, so now secondary question. Say we have a little bit better of a year than maybe I'm saying. We draft at 20, and we have to move up to 16. We give away a second and a fourth. Would you do it? To move up to 16.
I'm not sure I would give away picks to go get Bo.
See, now I would also agree. I would say I'd rather, because with a very deep quarterback class,
yeah,
I'd rather go wait for maybe a Jordan Travis who just got hurt. Mm-hmm. His draft stock will plummet. He'll be dropping to closer to the second, maybe even third round. He'll be healthy by the season, though, so that's not a problem. I would most likely rather wait to one of those, to a second or third round player, because it's a deep class. Somebody that you would get in the second or third round this year could very well be a first-round level talent.
Yes.
So I would agree. If Bo falls to me, I think I would take him. If we have to move up, I would not give away draft capital to move up to get him.
We've seen what happens when you reach on quarterbacks now.
I would agree. I would agree. Yeah, and for a roster that's not perfect, you need that draft capital. I'm not saying it's a really good roster,
But you need offensive line pieces.
Yeah, and you need cheap talent, which is what the draft provides, because we do have an expensive defense.
Yes.
Right. So
very much so.
I just think that's more of the interesting conversation, more so than even Bo being in the Heisman running. So that's all we got for the news.
All right. It is that time. It's time to transition into the game of the week. So this time we got the Ravens and the Chargers. This should be a good one. What day is this on? Is this Sunday?
It is this Sunday night.
Okay,
game, yeah.
Sunday night. Ravens, Chargers. Let's go.
I mean, some are calling it your mom's favorite podcast, your grandma's favorite segment. I don't know who those people are. I'm just throwing it out there. Couldn't be me. Baltimore at LA. And so we're split on this game. So that's why I think it's most of the games of the week we're split on, because they're such big games. They're so go either way type games. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a real argument who the better quarterback is. I think Lamar obviously wins more and at times is more productive. I think there's no argument, though, that Herbert's a better thrower of the football. He's a bigger, stronger athlete, although Lamar is quicker. So you could take your pick. I would prefer Herbert over the span of a career just because he's bigger, stronger, and I think he's a little bit more durable, and I think he throws a better football, which at the end of the day we know you have to deliver from the pocket. Yeah. So that's why I like the Chargers a little bit more, because you do get Herbert, but then of course you have the Brandon Staley factor. I do think it's worth noting, despite my misgivings about Brandon Staley, despite my absolute tirade I went on earlier about Brandon Staley about how he doesn't even deserve to coach high school football, I do think when you're backed into a corner like this as a grown man, because let's be real, everybody in the NFL, dude, you're like an alpha type personality. You can't get there without being a, hey, I'm that type of guy mentality. Mm-hmm. So I do think there's an argument, manalytics over analytics, right? That backed into a corner, alpha male, coaching for his life here, I think there's an argument that he pulls out his best coaching performance yet. Now, granted, who knows if that's good enough, because he's so bad that is his best even good enough? I don't know. But I do think you're going to get his best shot this week because, again, I think he's coaching for his life. I think Herbert knows it. I think the team knows it. Granted, do they want to fight for him? Who knows? Who knows? But I do think they're backed into a corner. If they lose this, the season's over. They're 4-7 if they lose this. They basically have to win out. So it starts now. You have to start now, being at home in prime time. I think you're going to get probably the best shot that you're going to get all year up to this point from the Chargers. I think it's going to be enough. I'll take the Chargers slightly.
I don't know. I just love the Ravens here. As a team, as a unit, they are stacked. And yes, outside of that bad loss to Cleveland and outside of the loss to Pittsburgh, they have put everybody away pretty handily.
Yeah.
Lamar is showing that he's special. I don't want to say playing at like the level of his MVP season, but it's pretty damn close.
I mean, in terms of like touchdown production, yards production, yes, but the turnovers are up. That's kind of why he's not more in the conversation. But I do think he's been really good.
He's special. This team is, I think, going to be, honestly, after seeing the Chiefs play on Monday,
they might be the best team in the AFC.
This is the number one team in the AFC.
Yeah, and I can totally agree with you. And we'll do power rankings next week. If they win, they're for sure number one. If they lose, it's a discussion. They'll still probably be top 3.
Yeah.
I can think a team's great, but just not pick them week to week just due to the matchup. So I'm with you. Baltimore's a fantastic team. Let's get to those keys to victory, though. We'll start with Baltimore because they are the better team and they are the road team as well. Baltimore offense, I think you got to get the tight end involved even though it's not Mark Andrews. I know Mark Andrews is out for the year. I think you have to keep that team honestly. You can't just completely eliminate the tight end option.
Yeah.
Right? That's not going to go well for you. You still have to keep that as part of your offense. And Isaiah Likely is a very good backup tight end. He's a solid number 2 tight end. So you'll be fine. Don't cut that part of your offense out just because it's not your number 1 target. You can still get the tight end involved and keep that defense honest. Plus, they don't have very good linebackers. That's a point of weakness. You can exploit that weakness with a good tight end.
Yes.
Baltimore defense, don't bite on the play action. Right? The Chargers love to take shots, especially down the field, off of play action. Don't bite. The Ravens have the personnel to stop the run without committing a bunch of guys in the box, right? It's not an impressive offensive line, and it's not an impressive run game. You have the personnel in your front 7 where you don't have to commit a ton of guys to the box. Don't bite on that play action because that's when the Chargers can get you over the top. They can get some free ones, and then you can find yourself behind the 8 ball.
I have another one. Let Brandon Staley shoot himself in the foot. He will do it. Just let him do it.
That's fair, and actually we'll get there. The Los Angeles Chargers offense, key to victory, catch the damn ball. Quentin Johnston, I mean, you're a first-round talent,
You got to help Jay Herb out a little bit, man.
Catch the ball. Keenan Allen had a drop, and he almost never has drops. You got to catch the damn ball. Like, that's period.
AFC West and the receivers, man.
It's not looking good, I'll tell you what. You have to catch the ball. That's number 1 because Herbert is doing everything he can, and the offensive line can actually pass block pretty well. Run blocking is shaky. But if you give Herbert enough time, he's going to distribute the ball accurately. Can we actually make plays for him? That's the key. If you can probably win this football game. LA defense. Fire Brandon Staley. I mean, seriously, that's my key to victory. I know, obviously, that's not realistic. So if I had to give a realistic key to victory, I would say keep Lamar in the pocket. We know how dangerous he can be outside the pocket. So don't go all, buck wild and get up the field, right? Get up the field, but don't
extend yourself.
Thank you. Don't overextend. Contain on the edges. Keep him hemmed in. We've seen that work with a lot of mobile quarterbacks. We keep them hemmed in, then you get pressure up the middle, and they don't really have anywhere to go. That's kind of the way to do it. So if I had to give a key to victory, that would be it. But the true key to victory is get a new coach and get a new defensive mind.
Yes, that's the most pressing of them all. But yes, I agree with you about the Lamar thing too. When he gets out of the pocket, it spells trouble for whatever.
Both with his legs and with his arm. He's good extending both ways.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes him special and very, very, very hard to defend. Because if he gets out of the pocket, you can't just commit to him running the football. Because then he'll just spin around, pull a little Kyler on you.
Throw it over top.
Like 35 yards on a rope.
Yeah, but if you stay back, he'll take advantage. Yeah. So it's a tough one.
So score prediction.
Oh, God. I think I predict, 28-27 Chargers in a close one. Now, this could be, now granted, I don't think in terms of how good the teams are, game of the year level, but I do think it's going to be back and forth, really, really entertaining. One of the more entertaining games of the year.
I'm going 30-27.
Wow.
Baltimore Ravens.
All right, fair enough. Interesting. So you still have the Chargers covering?
Yes.
All right, fair enough.
I mean, I like that. I like that cover.
Yeah, I think you get the hook on your side at +4. It's a good bet.
100% it's a good bet. You know where you can go check that bet out?
Sobet.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you? It just doesn't make sense why you wouldn't.
Hey, everybody's talking about, Christmas ideas and stuff like that. I saw the TikTok you posted.
Get your man. First of all, if you're a lady out there, why would you? First of all, you download Sobet for your man, right?
Yeah.
You attach your card so it pays a subscription. Again, it's an investment. Once your guy gets on there and starts backing some of the experts, he's going to make the money back anyway. He'll take you out to some nice dinners with it. It makes sense. Second, the ESPN Bet app. It makes a ton of sense to download it. All you have to do is bet a little bit, and we're not even sponsored at all. We have no affiliation with ESPN Bet. I'm just helping you guys out. You get 4 free $50 bets. Just let your man use it.
That's nice.
So he can download it, and you can download it. Boom. He's got $400 worth of free bets.
Bingo, bango. He
And he can use that $400 to bet on what the experts are saying on Sobet. Boom, take you out to dinner. Everybody wins.
Everybody wins. That's
it.
What a happy holiday season with Sobet.
We got to sign off with that. That's unbelievable.
100%. All right, guys, that's it. That's all we got for today. We will catch you back here next Thursday. Until then, enjoy Thanksgiving. Eat a lot of turkey. Have a good time watching football. Drink a reasonable amount. Don't be stupid. Other than that, that was the issue.
Yep.